Close your eyes for a second and picture the room you're sitting in. The walls, the furniture, the light coming through the window. Now, open them. What if everything you just pictured was only half of what's actually there? Not metaphorically, not philosophically, literally, a parallel layer of visual information sitting right on top of your reality that your brain is physically incapable of processing. That's not a thought experiment. That's your cat's everyday experience. Cats possess the ability to perceive ultraviolet light, a band of the light spectrum human eyes filter out completely. Our lenses evolved to block UV light as a form of protection. Your cat's lens doesn't do that. A landmark study published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B confirmed that cats, alongside a handful of other mammals, allow UV wavelengths to pass directly through to the retina. What does that mean in practical terms? That white pillowcase on your couch, your cat sees markings on it you'll never know exist. The glass of water on your nightstand, it has a glow your eyes are blind to. The patch of sunlight on your kitchen floor, to your cat, it's layered with visual information your brain simply cannot generate. But here's where it gets personal. Human skin reflects UV light, which means you look different to your cat than you look to yourself in any mirror. The freckles you can barely see, the veins running under your wrist, the slight variations in skin tone across your face. All of it gets amplified in ways that make you, to your cat, a completely different looking creature than what you see when you look in the mirror. Your cat isn't staring at you blankly. They're reading a version of you you have never seen and will never see. And sight is only the beginning. Right now, in the room you're sitting in, there is sound happening that you will never hear. Not because it's quiet, because your ears were simply not built for it. The human hearing range tops out at roughly 20,000 hertz. That sounds like a lot until you learn that cats can detect frequencies up to 79,000 hertz, nearly 4 times your ceiling. Research published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America places cats among the broadest hearing range mammals ever studied, a capability that evolved specifically for hunting prey that communicates in ultrasonic frequencies. So, what does that mean inside your home? Your laptop charger is producing a high-pitched whine right now. Your LED bulbs are cycling at a frequency that creates a subtle flicker your eyes and ears both miss. Your refrigerator compressor, the power strip behind your TV, the smart speaker sitting dormant on your shelf. All of it is generating sound your cat hears as clearly as you hear a conversation across a quiet room. This is why your cat sometimes freezes and stares at a wall with total intensity. They're not losing their mind. They're listening to something on the other side of it. A pipe vibrating, an insect moving through the cavity, a sound transmitted through the structure of your home that your auditory system has no mechanism to detect. But the most remarkable application of this isn't about the house. It's about you. Your cat can hear the rhythm of your footsteps from outside before you reach the front door. More than that, they've cataloged it. A 2015 study in Applied Animal Behavior Science demonstrated that cats can reliably distinguish the specific gait pattern of their owner from other people walking in the same space. Not just your voice, not just your smell, the actual acoustic signature of how your body moves through the world. That's why your cat is already positioned at the door when you arrive home, sometimes minutes before you walk in. They didn't guess, they identified you by sound, with the precision no human could replicate. There's a category of physical sensation your cat experiences constantly that you have essentially zero access to. Vibration at the micro level. A cat's paw pads contain a dense concentration of Pacinian corpuscles, specialized nerve receptors that are extraordinarily sensitive to even the subtlest ground vibrations. The same type of receptors exist in human fingertips, but nowhere near the same concentration and not positioned the way a cat's paws are, in constant direct contact with every surface they stand on. This is what's behind one of the most discussed behaviors in cat ownership, the pre-storm restlessness.
When you're checking a weather app wondering if it'll rain, your cat has already felt the atmospheric pressure dropping through the surface beneath their paws. The change in barometric pressure that precedes severe weather creates physical sensations your body registers as nothing. Your cat registers it as a clear environmental signal worth responding to. The same principle applies during seismic events. When an earthquake occurs, it produces two distinct wave types. P waves arrive first, fast, low amplitude, and virtually undetectable by the human body. S waves follow, carrying the actual destructive force. Because of their paw receptor sensitivity, cats often detect incoming P waves and respond, bolting from furniture, hiding, becoming agitated, seconds before the S waves arrive and humans feel anything at all. They're not predicting the future. They're receiving data your nervous system isn't equipped to process. There's also something quieter that this sensitivity enables. Your cat can feel the vibration of your voice, not just through sound, but through physical contact. When you hold your cat and speak softly, they're receiving your words through at least two entirely separate sensory channels simultaneously: the acoustic signal through their ears, the physical resonance through the surface of your body against theirs. You're not just talking to your cat, you're transmitting. Here's a scene almost every cat owner has experienced. Your cat locks onto a fixed point in an empty room, head perfectly still, eyes tracking something with absolute precision. You look, you stare, you squint, there is nothing there. You're not missing something paranormal, you're missing something microscopic. Cats have a significantly higher concentration of rod photoreceptors in their retinas, cells responsible for detecting motion and functioning in low light. This gives them motion sensitivity that operates on a scale your visual cortex simply isn't wired to register. A single dust particle drifting off your couch cushion, a knot moving through a shaft of light near the ceiling, a shadow shifting by 2 millimeters because a cloud passed outside. You miss it. Your cat doesn't miss any of it. Their visual system was engineered by millions of years of evolution to lock on to small movement at a distance, because in the wild, a twitch in the grass was the difference between eating and going hungry. That instinct doesn't turn off in a climate-controlled apartment. It runs continuously, processing a layer of visual motion that exists below your perceptual threshold. But here's the architectural detail that most people never learn. This same system has a significant weakness at close range. Cats are naturally farsighted. Anything closer than roughly 25 centimeters becomes genuinely blurry to them. So when they catch something, or when something gets too close to focus on, their visual system hands off to a completely different set of tools. Their whiskers rotate forward, sweeping the space in front of them like a tactile radar array. Their olfactory system fills in texture, temperature, and chemical information their eyes can no longer provide. They even have whiskers positioned along their front legs, called carpal whiskers, that sense the movement of prey already in their grip, communicating information their eyes can't gather at that proximity. Your cat doesn't have one sensory system. They have an integrated network of overlapping systems, each one covering the blind spots of the others. When you watch your cat hunt a toy across the floor, you're watching a biological sensory architecture that took millions of years to build.
Everything we've covered so far, the UV vision, the ultrasonic hearing, the vibration sensitivity, the motion detection, all of it points toward the same conclusion. Your cat is receiving information from the world around them at a level of detail and range that makes your sensory experience look like a rough draft. But the most remarkable thing they detect isn't outside, it's you. Your cat can hear your heartbeat, not approximately, not vaguely, clearly enough to notice when the rhythm changes. When you're anxious, your heart rate increases. Your breathing pattern shifts, shallower, slightly faster, less regular. Your body temperature changes at the surface. The micro movements you make while sitting still become subtly different. And all of it, every single signal, is detectable to a cat within close range. Research published in Animal Cognition demonstrated that cats actively monitor their owner's emotional state and adjust their behavior in response. This isn't anthropomorphization, it's a documented behavioral pattern across multiple studies. Cats respond differently to owners in states of stress versus calm, increasing physical proximity, becoming more vocal, or alternatively, withdrawing, depending on the individual animal's personality and its read of the situation. What this means practically is something most owners have felt without being able to explain. Your cat curls up next to you on the exact night you're struggling to sleep. They follow you to whatever room you retreat to when you're upset. They sit near someone who's been sick for days without being invited. They seem to know. And the reason they know is that your body has been broadcasting it the entire time in a language you didn't realize you were speaking. Your breathing, your heart, your skin temperature, the subtle shifts in how you're holding your body. You are a continuous stream of biological data, and your cat is always reading it. This is why the relationship between humans and cats works in a way that's genuinely difficult to articulate. It's not that cats understand your words, your reasoning, your emotional logic. It's that they bypass all of that entirely. They go straight to the source, your actual physiological state, and respond to what they find there. Which means, in some ways, your cat knows how you're doing before you've decided how you feel about it. You share a home with an animal whose senses extend into spectrums of light you can't see, frequencies of sound you can't hear, vibrations you can't feel, and movements you can't perceive. And at the center of all that sensory range, the thing they're most attuned to is you. They're not watching you the way you watch them. They're reading you. And they never stop.